let me just have a look at what they banned last week. Mindfreak banned CryptiK and Echo. Let's see what CryptiK want to get rid of. Last week they got rid of the Thatcher and something starting with M. Okay, there you go, Thatcher. So if you're Mindfreak right now, you've VOD the enemy team. Like, you predict what maps you're going to see, you VOD the enemy team, you see what they're going to ban. So this shouldn't be a surprise to Mindfreak right now.
Yeah, exactly. Mindfreak have the advantage of being able to really investigate how CryptiK approach this map and can use that against them. Mindfreak really disciplined in that area. They'll follow that up with another Thermite ban. So here we go. This is a big ban.
I think I reckon that was on the fly. I reckon they just thought to themselves, hey, that Thermite ban destroyed them on border. He puts out the good luck have fun right after the Thermite ban with the kiss and the smiley face. I love that. Man, Mindfreak playing some mind games here. I love it.
Yeah, CryptiK, they'll need to follow up with something to try and counter that. They'll go and take Mirror off the board first up. And Mindfreak will take
That's the
Mirror
same
off the
bans
board,
for Mindfreak what they did last map. CryptiK, last time they played this, they banned out the, I think it was Mute. Yeah, they banned out the Mute last time. My handwriting's really messy, so it's hard to read, but I'm like 99% sure it's Mute. And they're going to do the same thing here. So if you're Mindfreak, looking at CryptiK's bans, these seem like a little bit of unorthodox bans, but you got to expect them. You've got to have done your research. I don't think that those are going to throw a curveball to Mindfreak.
Mindfreak, of course, will be on the attack for this first half, so that'll be a little bit of a contrast to the previous map, where they defended first and successfully took 6 rounds in a row. Cafe has developed into quite a defender-sided map, and I'm sure Mindfreak will be aware of that. If they can still salvage a round or 2 here in the half, I'm sure they'll be quite happy, as they'll be able to go into the defense with confidence and should be able to secure the win. Of course, we're rooting for the draw, though, so hopefully it's a little bit closer.
I'm feeling CryptiK here. No, okay.
You've changed, Dev. You've changed.
I know. I have. I was feeling CryptiK here, and then I saw that Thermite ban.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, nah, Mindfreak's got their number, 100%. But the thing is, Mindfreak are the ones who are going to have to face not only a Thermite ban, but a Thatcher ban. You know, the OG support duo is out. How are you going to get rid of banner batteries or KE charges? Well, the first answer to that question is there are none, which is really weird for CryptiK. I mean, like, you've banned a lot of hard breach. Surely you play for hard breach denial. I mean, it makes it so much harder. Arcade would have been perfect here. So difficult to take out. So easy to trick the Hibana pellets. But CryptiK deciding to go for a bit more of an aggressive kind of style. They've got a lot of 3 speeds, a lot of fast operators, including the FO12 shotgun on the Ella. Last week we had an insane clutch by Jam against Sinister in one of the very first rounds as a clutch with that FO12.
That was interesting there, Jam actually opening the hatch above red.
We're going to see potentially an aggressive C4 thrown out the hatch.
Could be a real possibility. I thought it may have been an opening for a Valkyrie camera, but Valkyrie not on the board, not banned either, so could potentially see her in play later on this map. As Mindfreak now set up on the roof, it looks like they're going to go for a pretty traditional take here, try and drop in towards red, get control of that piano side of the map, and then try and go for the plant. CryptiK, meanwhile, will be trying to, of course, counter that. They have a lot of setups vertically and horizontally through the bar to try and create angles in towards that area of the map. Of course, the reworked area of the Cafe map. Not so new anymore, but it still has its little permutations. Teams still having slightly different variants on how they like to take that new part of the map.
It takes a long time for a map to really, really develop some normality. Like this Claymore placement on the red carpet, you'd be surprised at how difficult it is to see the red laser. But Coconut works out for Cutie. Jam's the first one to fall. No clutch for you today. Mindfreak really cautious of this downstairs presence as well.
Yeah, Itby Styles typically so aggressive, playing quite passive in this scenario as Cutie manages to drop Serum. I believe that may have been on the new Balk, so a nice frag for him. Echo off the board, and there we go. Pulse as well will be taken out. Striking on the roam is unsuccessful, and that's now forcing Sushi to rotate and JCC to get aggressive on Red. He shoots the feet there of the attacker, but won't secure the kill. CryptiK showing that they're really nervous at the moment. That first map possibly playing into the hands of Mindfreak already. And it's a 2 versus 5 scenario, a minute on the board, and surely Mindfreak will secure this round.
JCZ's pre-fires does reveal his position. He gets a kill off of it. But Sushi really the lone man on site to prevent this push. Mindfreak have dialed it back a little bit though. They're not trying to drop Force a Plant just yet. They should still have one smoke grenade from JackDad, I believe. Very dangerous time for Sushi to be on camera. Zippy style droning up the white stairs. He has a really good position. He's going to spot out the Mozzie. Doesn't want his drone to get hacked. He does spot that out for his team. Just needs to find this final player. Mindfreak do find that last pick. Only one left, and it's an easy 2K for Zippy style. Good end to that round. Mindfreak, start to finish. It's clean, and they make short work of CryptiK.
Yeah, worrying round there for CryptiK upstairs. Such a stronghold in most cases, particularly with Thermite banned off the board, but Mindfreak once again showing that their bans are effective. They're working around that. They didn't really do anything too fancy that round. They roam cleared quite normally. CryptiK in some unusual positions, and Mindfreak just shutting that down.
Yeah, I want to know how Cutie got a kill with the skeleton key while he was on the roof.
Yep.
I don't understand. Was he rappelling upside
I think he was
down?
repelled onto the new bulk.
Yeah, man, that's... I see a lot of pro players at the very start of rounds on the defense, they just shoot 2 bullets into each window so it breaks the glass, and it makes it a little bit easier to hear when people start rappelling on those windows. You really need to have that spatial awareness because free picks like that are so detrimental to the team.
Exactly the case, and it looks like CryptiK seemingly opting for a pretty similar setup here once again, so hopefully they have found some faults in that last defense, so we could see a similar result here. And if they lose this round again, Dev, do you think it's time to move on? Are they going to move to a different bomb site, or could they stick it out?
2 and move is what Monkey Fist always says. I do think that's a pretty good philosophy. I feel like it comes down to really weighing up your options. Do you honestly have something that you're going to change that's big enough and important enough that you really think you can get away with retrying this bomb site? And if the answer is no, then move. Try something different.
I'm liking this setup here on the white stairs. CryptiK utilizing both goo mines and barbed wire to try and slow down that push. That'll make it a little bit difficult for Mindfreak later in the round if they decide to go for that late round flank. We didn't really see them use it too much in the previous round. Ippy Styles eventually did, though, make his way there late. So potentially a counter to that previous round. Kings once again on the rappel. Will actually down striking. He was running past. And once again, CryptiK just getting destroyed from another window position. Unsuspectingly, Kings I don't think will be able to finish the job, but that's going to be enough to do a lot of damage to Maestro early.
Yeah, huge amount of damage, as you said. Almost the kill as well, and ADS saved his life. As we saw Striking try to finish him off. Sorry, Kings try to finish him off with the explosive charges that were caught by those ADSs. Cutie droning out some of these key positions. He does have a nade, 2 in his pocket. Used them last round to great effect, finding an early pick. We've made good progress downstairs as well for Mindfreak. Opened up one first hole into Piano. It's not much, not really an avenue to work from, but it's a start. They've prevented this flank watch as well.
So far, both teams taking almost an identical approach, both on the attack and the defense. Could we see a similar result here? Will Mindfreak be able to secure the round? It doesn't look like Kings is able to get through that Hibana hole potentially there.
That's not a good Hibana hole, and Shaq, he's so tempted. He doesn't want to get off this rappel to open up the wall, but it's much safer to go and apply the Hibana pellets to this side, make a crouch hole. This really limits his ability to use hard breach once he's inside Piano. Oh no, he messes it up as well, and JC gets a pick aggressively. Another one for JCZ. Everything's looking good for CryptiK now. Just a few fatal mistakes, and CryptiK will take advantage.
Cutie, meanwhile, has pushed up towards the new hatch drop. He's going to have to go biggie, but he gets taken out from below. Sushi with the C4. Shaq will finally get one for the side of Mindfreak, and that's JCZ off the board. But the damage has already been done. Shaq and Jack Daddy left with it all to do. 30 seconds in hand. Shaq with the diffuser. They need to be very, very careful here on how they approach this. They need to go for refrags, but CryptiK, they're playing super passive here. They're having none of it. They're just waiting for Mindfreak to run into their line of sight, and that Evil is going to reveal their positions, and yeah, things not looking great here for Mindfreak.
No time left, and spotting out some positions. It's a good first pick for Jack Dad, but all to do. Shaq trying to push up. Spots out the one player, but there's nothing he can do. Nice round for CryptiK, but I gotta say, that was Mindfreak's mistake.
Yeah, poor Shaq on the Hibana, having no luck whatsoever.
I can just imagine right now Kings would be livid having a go at him. The first thing he made it so the Hibana hole was just slightly off the ground, so you couldn't prone through. And the second one, as soon as he tried to make it a crouch hole, there was just that tiny little line of reinforcement between the holes. Ah, so frustrating for Shaq. Oh well, you don't make that mistake twice in one game. That's for sure.
Unfortunate for Shaq, but good for CryptiK. They will finally secure a round this evening against Mindfreak, and in doing so, that bomb site will no longer be available for them. They will head to Kitchen though, and they're going to bring Castle as well, Serum with the 6th pick, so I'm expecting a pretty thorough setup here. We often see Castle utilised towards CryptiK potentially to try and extend the site. Whether or not CryptiK will take that approach, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they will make a rotate from Kitchen itself into front bakery. Also heavily fortifying the area inside that bakery. Looks to be a mobile setup for CryptiK. Thermite's still banned though, and we saw that did have an effect on Mindfreak last round, of course, with that blunder with the Hibana pellets. But I wonder, if Thermite's banned, shouldn't you really be, at least to some degree, changing your setups to enable the, or really take advantage of the fact that hard breach is so much more difficult now? I'd be instead of making all these rotation holes and playing a more mobile setup, if you think that your team has the ability to adapt on the fly and play slightly differently, I would be reinforcing more walls. I would be playing less mobile. I would be taking advantage of the fact that that Thermite is unavailable.
Yeah, they should be doing what Mindfreak did on the first map. Why not bring the double combo? Bring Bandit, bring Cade. That's going to make life a hell of a lot harder for Mindfreak to get anywhere near the site. And as you mentioned, they can play safer. They can play towards the objective, and they will be under less pressure. Kings, though, will get JCZ. And just like that, CryptiK, once again, already at the disadvantage early.
CryptiK are trying to play an aggressive game when maybe it's not the right decision. That's 2 quick picks at the start, potentially a third, and there you have it. Things are falling apart for CryptiK. Now they have no choice but to wait. Surely they'll try to get aggressive, try to find some picks, but the information is all against them right now. Serum doesn't even have an impact grenade to enable an entry through this castle, but he's getting peeked right now. He needs to find this headshot. That's only step 1 to salvaging this round. So many angles, and he's been droned out. Sushi, the poor player on site. Such a precarious position. Needs to find these picks one after another. It's a 1 versus 5 for the newest player on CryptiK. Surely that's not possible. He can find the 1, but not the 2nd. Mindfreak surgically pick apart CryptiK's defense.
Yeah, CryptiK playing ultra aggressive there, not paying dividends in the end. And as you were mentioning earlier, that Thermite ban from Mindfreak is having really no impact on their own personal attack. They're adjusting to it perfectly. CryptiK overextending in towards CryptiK. They weren't able to get the frags as Mindfreak pushed aggressively. Put the members on site under the pump really, really early. Really no chance for them to recover, and CryptiK now 2-1 down.
I agree with the Thermite bans having no effect on CryptiK's ability to defend. You ban a powerful attacker, it should make it easier to defend. And that's not just on Mindfreak for adapting well, it's on CryptiK, because CryptiK aren't playing into that ban. Mind you, it's not their ban, so they haven't prepared necessarily for defending that site where Thermite is banned. But they could have, imagine if they had reinforced all of the walls facing Bakery, all of the walls facing Red Stairs, they'd played a Bandit to trick it, and they'd played a Cade to trick the wall from Bakery, between Bakery and Prep. They could be Cade tricking that, Bandit tricking the other walls. The only way that Mindfreak would have been able to really make that work, I guess you could try to nade over, but that's a serious risk. you're probably looking at Mindfreak having to take the entire map control so that they could disable these positions from above. And Mindfreak did not look like they wanted to invest in map control. They were just doing a nice little horizontal push, taking the minimum that they needed. And heck, you could even reinforce this garage wall to play more aggressively in this hallway.
Talking about aggression, though, striking will lay down in that position for quite some time. He couldn't get a kill here onto Ippy Styles. He is prone. Does he see him through the barricade? Oh, he doesn't quite peek him. He pre-fires, but the shots miss, and he could end up getting killed. He will! Ippy Styles with a fantastic frag onto striking. And once again, CryptiK fall first.
And nothing seems to be giving for CryptiK. Everything going against them. Mindfreak moving with the momentum now, droning up ahead. So close, and only 40 seconds is gone in the round. They have a 5 versus 3 advantage. Doing so well. CryptiK need to pull something back, but I'm not sure. They might have 2 minutes, but I think it's just too late at this point. Mindfreak still playing smart, playing slow, droning it out, assessing the situation. A third pick for them. Nothing is working for Mindfreak. A flawless round for Mindfreak. CryptiK fallen apart, torn at the seams. And this map's looking to be not very much more promising than Border.
Unfortunately for CryptiK, it is looking pretty grim so far. They do have 2 rounds left to try and even out the half, but it's going to be a challenge. Fortunately for them, Bar will be unlocked on the round rotation, but it did take him 2 tries to get it the first time.
Yeah, and I don't think Mindfreak's going to make the same mistakes that they made before again.
You can say Shaq. It was on Shaq.
It was Shaq. I don't think Shaq's going to screw up those Habana holes again. Surely not. He'll never hear the end of it.
No.
So as you said, this is not looking great for CryptiK. We're talking about a map where defense should really be racking up the wins. And if you don't, then, man, Mindfreak are going to be going onto their own defense where Thermite is banned and Thatcher is banned. They could just play so much Bandit, so much Kaid, and I don't think CryptiK will be able to get any walls open.
Once again, CryptiK bringing no hard breach denial whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, you could be a Kaid playing safe at the back of Piano and use Electroclaws to Kaid trick the Piano walls to top red. You could do the same in Freezer if you don't even want to extend that far out. You could be using a Bandit to Bandit trick Freezer. I mean, actually, that won't work because of the angle from the roof. But, man, I feel like CryptiK, you know, they're trying things, but I don't think it's what's needed. JC sets up for a spawn peek. Doesn't even land enough shots, man. He gets close. That was the lone hard breach as well. Imagine if Shaq had died there. By all rights, he should have.
If Shaq had died then, he would have been really, really upset. That would have been 2 rounds on that bomb site where he's failed the team, but he skates away with his life, about half HP remaining. And it looks like Mindfreak once again taking a pretty similar position. King's on the window, tries to land a couple shots towards White Stairs. He will be unsuccessful. Jam manages to hold that position in the meantime as Kings goes onto the roof. And it looks like Mindfreak once again setting up for a pretty similar attack here. Expecting them to blow the wall into Piano if Shaq is successful on this occasion, and then work their way through towards the objective.
JC stepped up big last round. He's going to go for a jump out. There is a Claymore, just takes a second to detonate. Ippy Style trades himself back with that Claymore, so he can't be kicking himself too badly, but Jam does help out a little bit, taking down Cutie. That's the frag grenades with it. Oh, man, what? I guess the range on that thing was just not long enough, and now there are 2 Evil Eyes, and Kings has no utility. In fact, Mindfreak as a whole have no utility to get rid of them. That really turns this thing on its head.
Yeah, once again, Mindfreak making a critical error with their utility usage, and that's really going to put the remaining members under the pump. Jack Daddy pushes through the Piano location. He has the M249 with the ACOG, a deadly weapon, but not at close range. You'll have to be mindful of that as Kings will push over towards underneath the new hatch. He misses the shot there onto the Echo. Serum will secure that one. And now Shaq and Jack Daddy are left with it all to do. They have a minute, but at a 2-man disadvantage on this site. Such a strong choke point. Things are not looking great.
surely the only way that this works for Mindfreak is if CryptiK start to peak aggressively and lose gunfights, and I don't think that's going to happen right now. CryptiK are finally tasting a little bit of victory, though they do feed Jack Daddy for 1 kill. Both of the Mindfreak players being taken down for a lot of damage. Shaq will be finished off there in the freezer, and so too will Jack Dad. CryptiK getting a little bit closer, but, well, 2 rounds is all right. It looks better than it did on Border. I'll give him that.
Definitely looks better so far, and that previous round just demonstrating how powerful Intel can be. Those Evil Eyes were gathering so much for CryptiK, and they were just allowed to play passive on site, which we haven't seen them do at all yet today. In most occasions, they've been roaming heavy or doing extravagant sort of angles, and it hasn't worked out for them so far. So having that ability to sort of just slow down the round, sit in sight and force the attackers towards them worked perfectly. Whether or not it was a misplay from Kings missing those Evil Eyes, or if they were potentially ADSs to try and deny them, I'm not sure if they were, but...
I thought it was, I don't know, it looks
Did he just miss it?
He either missed it, or there is actually a max range on the Zephyr. It will just explode midair. So I feel like it was either at the max range or he missed it, and I don't know. But look, at least Shaq opened up the holes in Piano Wall.
Striking, currently topping CryptiK with 0 frags. 5 assists though for 80's team, but that is very... I don't think I've ever seen a player this deep into a match lead the scoreboard with 0 kills.
I want to know how did he get those 5 assists? Has he been playing? He hasn't been playing Legion, has he? I don't think he has. But
just a team player.
Yeah, there you go. Why not? So final round for CryptiK. And I think at this point we just need to respect CryptiK for what they're trying to do, because they're not doing what we've been talking about at all. They're not playing into the hard breach denial game at all. They're just going for that aggression. That was a missed camera, but that's okay. He can still spot out players, and he may well go for this spawn peek. Is he going to go for it? No. Gets back inside, does get detected, however. This is a library bomb site defended for the first time this match. We didn't mention that earlier. CryptiK trying to spice things up, do something a little bit different, since Kitchen was absolutely off limits. Not working out for them.
Once again, CryptiK electing not to bring any hard breach denials, so it looks like they're going to be playing quite roam heavy here. Nice and fluid instead of opting to play on the site. Their operator selections would definitely suggest that Castle, I guess, can help to protect some areas, but the remaining 4 defenders, all very strong in their own right, both in gunplay and maneuverability. Mindfreak will have to deal with that. They have the operators to do so. Whether or not they have the patience and the intel will be another story.
I think Mindfreak definitely have the patience. We saw Beastal all the way outside, patiently waiting on these angles. Jack Daddy did a good job there, but they didn't clear Piano. And Sushi allowed to roam just a little bit longer. Hidden from the drones using that ERC scanner. Almost lands shots on a second player, but he'll be spotted out now. His location revealed. He can try to hide for as long as he can. The drone did spot him out for a moment, and Hibana wins that long-range gunfight. So a good salvage there for Mindfreak, but things fight back, and it just, both teams, players are falling. JC and Serum, the last ones who need to step up.
Yeah, the Valkyrie and the Castle respectively left with it all to do, but Castle will be dropped, leaving it all up to JCZ. He doesn't have a Nitro Cell left. He might have some intel from those Black Eyes he placed earlier, but with the MPX, this is going to be a tall ask against 3 members of Mindfreak. He manages to get Kings real low, but he manages to survive. And with no C4, he can't even try and deny that verticality. Mindfreak will capitalize, and they'll be heading into the half with a strong scoreline.
4-2 on their attacks. Definitely a good spot to be in for Mindfreak, especially as they're heading into defense on Cafe, 1, which is pretty good if you're on defense, and 2, where you have Thatcher and Thermite banned. We already saw how much CryptiK struggled on Border with no Thermite, and Border's a map where the attackers can really run amok and do a good job even without a Thermite. Here, on Cafe, no Thermite, no Thatcher. This is going to be a really rough slog for CryptiK.
Yeah, Mindfreak electing to bring the Cade, which we were a little bit critical of CryptiK deciding not to do. A little bit surprised Mindfreak hasn't gone for a double denial, but the other operator selections can be justified.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they don't need it, right?
yeah.
You can't use Bandit to Bandit trick the freezer wall because you're exposed to the skylight. You could try to use a Bandit to Bandit trick the piano wall into red, but that only works until they start repelling piano windows. So I think that the assumption is CryptiK's just going to counter that, so maybe just rely on the K, don't try to overcomplicate things. You probably get more use out of an operator like Legion, Valkyrie, something like that.
Yeah, Mindfreak probably going to play more passive than CryptiK did, I would presume. Try and hold sight and really utilize that thermite ban. Maybe we'll see some aggression towards piano, particularly with those Evil Eyes in position. Maybe we'll have a player playing in there. But once that wall gets open, I'm expecting Mindfreak to just fall back to the site and just let CryptiK fall into their mistakes. This bomb site has so many choke points that are easy, in quotation marks, to hold for the defenders. And if they're able to do that, CryptiK are just going to fall into their trap.
I feel like the way that CryptiK win these attacks is if they just somehow get in behind the Mindfreak defenders, go for a rush. They 2 versus 1 players on site, like what we started to see earlier today from the from the Fnatic and Wildcard game. That's the only way that I see CryptiK really starting to take it. They do have good fragging operators to make that happen, but do they have the confidence after such a difficult series so far?
Time will tell as CryptiK begin to set up on the roof here. So looking pretty similar to the way that Mindfreak tried to take this. So JC's actually taking damage through the little pixel there on the hatch. That is super unfortunate. If he had have died to that, that would have been very tilting. Kings, as you can see, has that angle. Manages to miss one as they drop to the top of red. And it looks like they could potentially go for the hatch. He's lining up enemies, or at least attempting to, that are playing that hatch. And the Kings is looking pretty formidable just on this one peak alone. Sushi, just get the wall open.
Oh, they K-tricked it. There you go. After all that, Hibana, the only hard breach, just easily tricked by one Electroclaw. And then the Electroclaw, I believe, just got picked up again.
Kings will drop Serum off screen, and CryptiK, they have no way to really take out these K's, do they? Thatcher's banned. It's hard to vertically go for K's. They're so small to sometimes shoot and find. Striking needs to play that role. He needs to try and do that. But the timing on them so fast as well that you need to be very precise. Striking goes for the kill onto Kings at Pixel. He will get 1, so that evens out the man count. But that wall isn't open, and that's going to be the critical thing here.
CryptiK may have shot themselves in the foot with the Thatcher ban, but Mindfreak absolutely piled it on with the Thermite ban. Cutie getting a kill elsewhere, thinning the numbers of CryptiK. I really feel like the only way CryptiK can do this is if they start to push in together, start to play super aggressive and really take the fight to Mindfreak, and that's what JC does. Well, I guess Itby style on the run out was punished by JC. 3 versus 3 now. CryptiK need to start to get some map control. They have to brute force things. They know that it's not going to work to try and play the utility game. You've already lost the ability to do that. But if you're not winning these 1v1s, it's not going to work out so well.
Yeah, Sushi now, ex-coach, left with it all to do. The newest member of CryptiK needs to get 3. He manages to get 1. Jack Daddy getting very, very aggressive there. Probably not needed. Probably going for the style points a little bit there. Sushi does have full HP, looking to drop new hatch here, potentially. He will do so. The Type 89 is a good weapon, but has such a limited mag. If he gets 1, he'll probably get refragged. He pushes in towards the site, manages to pick up 1. As I mentioned, the Goo Mines, though, lighting him up and making him a real slow target. That's going to allow Shaq to just dance around, and there we go. Mindfreak will secure round number 7.
I mean, props to Sushi. He got quite a few kills there. I haven't seen Sushi look that confident all night, especially not on map number 1. And then what does it take? It takes him to be basically put into an unwinnable situation for him to actually step up and take some fights. That's what we needed to see from all 5 CryptiK players at the start of that round, because they were never going to win that utility game. That was decided in the ban phase. If the enemy is playing a Cade, in Piano, in Freezer, with Thermite banned as well, and Thatcher banned too, you are simply not getting those walls open. You have to, if you want to try to challenge me on that, you're trying to do a strat that's very complicated and convoluted that you need an incredibly advanced team to really properly execute. And unfortunately, I don't think CryptiK are at that level yet. They need to just try to dodge this this giant hurdle that's been put in their way instead of trying to make the jump, go around it. Try something different. I want to see more aggression from CryptiK. I want to see the confidence that Sushi had in that clutch, even though he failed it. I want to see that throughout the entire round from all the players on CryptiK.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that Sushi actually looked at his most confident when the pressure was arguably off him. When you're in that sort of clutch scenario, your team just goes full send. Don't worry about it. If you don't win it, you don't win it. It's not a winnable position. And Sushi, no pressure. He goes in, gets a couple frags. Unfortunately, unsuccessful.
It was nice shots
but
too.
Yeah, like, it shows that he can get frags. Maybe his confidence is potentially holding him back in some of these other rounds where they're feeling like they're under the pump. As Mindfreak are effectively using their utility and putting them under that pressure.
Mindfreak are very close to a victory here. They've had such a good map so far. They've dropped a round or two, but it hasn't been, you know, it hasn't at all been convincing, even the rounds for CryptiK, right? Mindfreak, they're definitely in the driver's seat here. One round away from getting another point on the scoreboard, on the ladder, the Pro League ladder, and 2 more rounds away from getting the full 3 points out of this matchup.
Bomb located by attackers.
Pretty dormant map at the moment so far. CryptiK once again looking to set up for this red stairs push. We saw them go for this last round and then later rotate towards New Balk, but it looks like this time they're not even going to try to get the wall open. Jam has made his way into Cigar Shop, getting quite aggressive with his peaks here, but Zofia is probably the right operator to go for that as they try and clear it above here. The pings do go out, so Jam has some intel to go off, but a close range encounter like that not going to be favourable. Kings off screen will get Sushi, so Maverick off the board, one and only hard breach for CryptiK.
Yeah, doesn't look like Mindfreak's going to stop at that with another kill onto Jam. JCZ got a lot of angles to deal with, and Ippy Styles on fire tonight. Does find another one. The now Striking is the one waiting for an angle, waiting for an opportunity. There's really not much to do, and a player on the flank as well. Man, it's such a difficult position to be in if you're CryptiK, and they know exactly where you are. Mindfreak put us on to match point here with a flawless round.
Yeah, Mindfreak once again asserting their dominance and looking very, very strong. All unraveled when CryptiK lost their Maverick. Not much you could really do from there. The only hard breach they had available, opting him over the Habana. Didn't work out in the end. And now it's match point in favor of Mindfreak. They will be heading over to kitchen service and cooking to try and close this one out. Cutie jumping onto the clash. We haven't seen a clash all evening, so this could be very, very interesting. It could be a bait and a potential 6-pick, and there we go. Oh, we're going to see Valkyrie.
I'm kind of disappointed.
Yeah,
like,
I want to
want
see
the clash.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a position where Mindfreak are absolutely on fire right now, right? CryptiK, they've lost that confidence. We keep talking about it. It's the thing that they can't quite get a grasp of, and Mindfreak are the opposite. They're playing into that. They've been playing into it all series, getting that momentum and really just throwing that aggression, piling it on. And Clash is the perfect operator to use that.
Yeah. Mindfreak, though, they'll be heading to an unfamiliar bomb site for them so far. They are yet to defend this site. They did attack it successfully twice, so you'd hope that they'd have an inkling on how they want to approach their defense. They haven't brought a castle like we saw CryptiK do, so they're probably not going to extend out towards Cupcake. And I feel like that's the play. You don't need to over-aggress, particularly with that thermite ban on the board. You can sit in sight, play off that bandit, and deny them entry that way.
There's a lot of choke points on this bomb site. Pushing in through prep, pushing in through... I mean, even if you get the freezer wall open, pushing in through freezer, they are actually going to make that rotation hole, interestingly enough, instead of trying to go for the full reinforcement. But, you know, I reckon Mindfreak at this point can win it off of gunfights because CryptiK is so far on the back foot. But never mind. Hello, JC. Gets a nice flick there on Trippy Style. I thought it was going to be another free kill for the Jaeger, but he'll sit out for the rest of the round. Kings is still playing aggressive on it, though. Looks like Mindfreak just want to keep playing into the fact that they are so far ahead and use that confidence to their advantage.
And Mindfreak just playing aggressive enough to put doubt in the minds of CryptiK, but not over-aggressing into unwinnable positions. I think Kings here is a perfect example of that. Playing inside of small bakery, causing issues, goes for the peak, but can't land the shots. He eventually will. And Serum now off the board. That will be the sledge gone. Gem gets Jack Daddy meanwhile, so that will be Bandit no longer in play, so the hard breach could be on. But they didn't bring Hibana anyway. They only have the Maverick to play with Sushi with that role. And he'll get Kings, actually, who was playing Cupcake. So now Shaq and Cutie will be left with it all to do. Cutie hasn't done any big plays yet so far today. I'm feeling like this could be the one.
Yeah, Cutie's been a very strong player for this team recently at the Six Masters on LAN. He absolutely stepped up. Just because he hasn't played his A game today doesn't mean he's out of it. Nope, never mind. He's out of it. See you later. It's a 1 versus 4 for Shaq. We talked about him earlier. He is the SMG11 god, but time will tell if it's enough to win this 1 versus 4. Only 3 left as he started the job. We'll have to hit some nuts shots here with the SMG11. It's going to be a headshot game. And he gets caught off guard throwing the smoke, babe. CryptiK, don't go down without a fight. 3 rounds on the board is a respectable spot to be in. And there's still a fighting chance for CryptiK.
Yeah, CryptiK fighting it out all the way to the end here. It is, of course, still match point in favor of Mindfreak. And they do have a couple of rounds spare for some of these weaker rounds. Unfortunately, though, for CryptiK, Mindfreak now will have bar unlocked. They'll be able to head back there. Arguably the strongest bomb site on this map. So many choke points, so many opportunities to utilize anti-breach. Bandit and Cade both on the board, and with Thermite banned, it's going to be so hard. So hard for CryptiK to enter here, particularly on that piano side of the map.
Yeah, that's there's a lot to contest with. Now we are seeing CryptiK start to bring, I mean, they've been bringing it for quite a while. The Maverick, I'm just surprised that we're not seeing Maverick and Hibana. Yeah, I want to know, like, I like the idea that CryptiK have, you know, decided to make that adaptation to bring the Maverick, but I don't know if it's enough on its own. I feel like you need to have the Hibana as well. That Bandit's definitely going to be a struggle for CryptiK to deal with. I mean, even when you've got the Maverick, Bandit can be a bit annoying, take damage while you're trying to open up the wall. But for this top floor, it looks like Mindfreak are once again going to be opening up a huge... Oh, wow, that's a nice camera. Definitely going to steal that one. Thank you, Cutie.
Oh, that is so hard to see. I bet it has full vision of that entire cigar shop.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
That's
That's naughty.
It's a good setup, though, for Mindfreak overall. Like, they've opened up a lot of the bars, so there's not many safe plant spots for CryptiK. They're going to have to go for these... really dedicate and go for kills. Good anchor position set up. Shaq with the deployable shield, which is... available on Smoke as of this season with the reworked deployable shields. We don't often talk about how impactful they are, but man, the ability to gain information really is so helpful. And Jack that M870, hello. Oh, I can't wait to see this.
That's actually a really good position to use the M870. It's such a close quarters encounter. If you have players coming from Pixel, they're going to be really close. If they're coming from the top of White, you can close down that angle as well. And even if they get into the site, through that rotate, it's still going to be another close encounter. So it looks on the surface like a little bit of a meme pick from Jack Daddy, but it's actually quite tactical and could really play into his hands.
Yeah, not at all a meme pick. The M870 is very high damage pump action shotgun. Also has a much faster fire rate than ones like the M1014. This is also Mindfreak's final map of the Pro League season. After this, they're all done. Every other Pro League team still has another game to go, but Mindfreak is done after this one. So they're not going to be trying out these M870 strats in the Pro League for a little while. May as well give it a shot here, right?
Bit of a testing ground at the end of the season.
Yeah, why not? They do have a possibility of jumping up next to Wildcard. In fact, potentially over Wildcard to take 3rd place if Wildcard don't do so well in their last match. So Mindfreak are still fighting for placings, and that does affect the prize money. So Striking finds the first kill, though. That's unfortunately for us, the M870 taken down. Big sad.
Cutie, though, with a big run out the front door. Will get one. He is very fragged by Sushi quite quickly, though. So that'll leave us in a 4 versus 3 scenario. Mindfreak at the disadvantage. We haven't seen that a lot this evening. In most occasions, they have been on top. So Shaq, Kings, and Itby Styles, 3 very, very strong players for the team. We'll have to try and hold them out. And if there's one objective where this is possible, it's probably the 3rd floor, just due to the nature of how it plays out. And CryptiK have once again rotated towards this eastern side. And if they're forced through the windows here, that could make things interesting. There we go. Shaq has gotten Serum through the window using a gas canister. That is not good for CryptiK.
Striking wants to push up these white stairs, but Itby Styles ready on it. Does find that fight, gets it as well. Just Sushi left Itby Style to finish it off, and there you have Mindfreak, their final round, final match, and final victory of Season 10 of the ANZ Pro League, taking out CryptiK 7-3.
Yeah, dominant performance from Mindfreak across the night, only dropping 3 rounds in total, all being on Cafe. A strong end for them at the back end of Season 10, and hopefully they can carry on and gain some momentum for the next season.
Nice way to finish it off as well. I'm sure they're going to be feeling relieved now. Okay, it's time for a break. Pro League is done. Six Masters 2019 is done. There's quite a long break before Mindfreak really have any serious competition. So they've had a good run this season, maybe been overtaken